Yo, what's going on, guys? This is a late one, so if you are hanging out and drinking in the fun times, that'd be very cool. So I appreciate it. Want to give a shout out. Also, if if I sound a little stuffed up, I literally scarfed down some food, so kudos. But want to give a huge shout out to George. He has helped me out a ton in getting this stream going. So want to give him some love. George is the drummer for Poeta, so I don't know if he's going to be hanging out in the chat tonight. I imagine he will be. So come hang out. Also, if you hear a bunch of meowing, my cat is currently being a little bit of a turd head. So, it is what it is. But anyway, I kind of want to go over some background stuff on Poeta. So I've been a fan of their band for quite a long time. Actually, George and I are very close friends, and I'm not just saying that because we're on a live stream. And but we have been doing YouTube together for quite a bit, as well as just being friends for, God, I would say for a large majority of doing YouTube. So always have been, supportive of this band. I've always felt like they had been just really high up there as one of my favorites in terms of the New Jersey scene. So I wanted to not only review this record, but also I felt like since now I'm doing a lot of the reaction stuff on the YouTube channel now, I feel like it was a perfect time to not only, listen to the record, but as well as kind of react to it. So if you like this content, let me know, because been having a lot of fun with it as of recently. I actually just posted one earlier today. Shout outs to Flow Omen. Love them. Go check them out. Another great New Jersey band. But I wanted to do this because I just love Poeta so much. Bunch of great people. Kev, Dentino, Zach. I had Zach and as well as George on the channel. And you can check out interview number 2, which will be on the channel. If not, I'll try to link it in the description. But I've been a fan for a while. Golden Fields was still one of my favorite records, and I go back and listen to it quite frequently. And just love what they did with that album. And when they had announced that they were gonna kind of go on a little bit of hiatus, I was, upset, certainly. But also at the same point, I felt like we were losing a pretty big band in the scene. But I'm glad to report that is not the case, and that again, it's just been a wild ride for them, I'm sure. But as well as that, just seeing them grow as a band and as a collective has been really awesome to see. Not only from a friend's standpoint, but as well as just kind of like an interviewer and YouTuber. So I wanted to give this album its due course. So I am going to be listening to the entire thing. If you are in the stream and you have not heard the new Poeta record, I can't tell you what a perfect time to watch and listen to this with me. If you have not, if you're watching this in the past, please go check the links below. It will all be down there. So please go buy it. If you can stream it, definitely stream it too. Want to make sure that this band gets out there and gets as much attention and love that I know I have received personally on this channel. So want to be able to provide that same sort of love and admiration for what they do. So big shout outs to Poeta for sending this over. And we're just going to kind of get into it. There are a few songs that I have already listened to, but it's been a little bit. So I'm excited. Too many V's. Excited to check it out. So, also, I believe George will be hanging out in the chat, so he'll be able to give me a little bit more pointers on how the song's formulated and all that stuff. Hopefully, we'll figure it all out. But we're gonna listen to the first track, which is Nine Tails. And if you know, first and foremost, big Pokemon fan, you already know. Secondly, well, listen, I'm gonna whip out my Pokemon Funko. One of them I don't have enough time to go through all of them, but I have a bunch of them. But anyway, I love the fact that they named the first song off this record Nine Tails, because if you listen to Goldenfield, they did a song called Vulpix. So, keeping with the same language, and we love that. So, very cool, very excited. But this is the first track. We're gonna listen to it. Oh, I'm so excited. So let's give it a listen. Hopefully the volume isn't too crazy, and let me know in the chat if it's too loud.
Will I come to endure the moments in my life that will make me who I am?
Oh, Kev's voice.
From a broken man is all he has left to give. Timing is everything, son. Will you promise me that you'll just do anything to make it worth your
All right. Ooh, okay. This must be Justin Sanford. He's got a great voice. Oh, what a crazy drum fill. Oh, man. Like the vocals in the background. That was cool. All right. You guys are pulling out all the tricks. All right. All right, Justin. Oh, I love that guitar riff. Oh, Santino. Screaming action. All right. Nice strings. That's cool. All right. I see you guys weren't trying to disappoint, Guys, if you just tuned in, this was the first song of 9 on the very new, very good Poeta's newest album, Stella Luna. Check the links below. Go pick it up. But I really dug this a lot. Justin Sanford doesn't ring a bell, so I don't know if he's a part of a local band, because I know... Obviously, shout outs to Jenna, Ones You Forgot, big love to them. Sierra, you already know, big love again. She is just killing it with Sales Ahead, big chef's kits. Love those guys. And John, I know John's been in a couple different bands. John is a hella talented guitar player, so big ups to him. But Justin, I don't know what band he's a part of, so George, let me know which bands he's a part of so I can give him a shout. But I really dug this. I think the energy of the track specifically was really good. I think to start out the momentous album, you need a song that kind of connects you or brings you into the album, and I definitely feel like Nine Tails is one of those songs that just entrances you immediately. Kevin's vocals are super strong, as they always have been, but I think even more so than like Golden Fields. I feel like he's been able to just evolve his vocal prowess as a vocalist, and it just sounds so much better. I think that he's taken a lot of, I don't know if he's personally like done a lot of growth like vocally, but it definitely feels like that. So, you know, big ups to Kevin. I've always loved his voice a ton, and I felt like this one was just him just straight up nailing it. And I also give the shout outs to Justin as well. His vocals were super great too. I will definitely check out his band, certainly, if he has one. If he doesn't, Justin, you should start a band. But anyway, I loved it. I think his vocals really complemented Kevin's vocals super well, and I just loved like kind of the interaction of his vocals along with Kev's, and just kind of the dichotomy between those two, which was really tight. I will also say as well, Dentino, he always comes up with like the craziest, coolest, like fun guitar riffs, and I think this song is, you know, nothing short of that, certainly. As well as that, George absolutely killed it on the drums. Some of the fills, I would say, with between like that second verse, or maybe it possibly would have been a bridge. The fills, chef's kiss. We love it. He's just been rocking it. Love the drumming. Just so dynamic and so energetic, and I know we've had countless talks about like who he's influenced by drumming wise, and you can definitely hear that within this song particularly, and I imagine it's going to be very similar to how the rest of the album is going to be like. But really enjoyed this one. I think it's a great start out to the album, so big ups. Love this one. But you should definitely check out Justin as well. I don't know what project he's a part of, but he needs to be in a project if he isn't. So go give this one a love. This one's the first one, Nine Tails. We're going to move it into track number 2, which is Glorious, and we're going to listen to it right now. Okay, all right. I love the like very major tune.
Here we stand, glorious.
All right.
We've reached for the stars. We kept coming up short, but there's always tomorrow.
These are some builds, man. Dentino. Oh my god. The riffs. This dude.
I wasn't really listening to all the words inside my head. moments inside my head. The simple melody we sing keeps going over and over again. We're standing glorious, screaming
like that.
the
Like the cheap
world's
vocals, that's
a
tight.
fucking joke. We're standing
Vocal lines, I love.
glorious, screaming the world's a fucking joke.
I miss Dentino. Nice, I like the rhythm change. Really opens the song up a ton. All right, guys, that was track number 2, Glorious. Eloquently named because this track is very much glorious. Loved, honestly, just like as I mentioned previously, I just love Dentino's singing. Like Dentino's just like the way he makes guitar sing sometimes is just so fantastic and something I missed out on. Like just whenever I listen to artists, I just love the way that he's been able to like craft some of his lead parts. And I also got to give a lot of credit to Kevin. I can speak. It's a little late, but maybe I'm losing it. But yeah, I love the way that he's been able to hold down the rhythm, and then Zach just holding it down too. Like I also got to give him a lot of credit because I feel like George is such a dynamic drummer, and it could, you can very easily get lost in that certainly, but I think Zach has a great way of kind of still keeping up with the beat, but also at the same point just carving his own path in this song. And I think that who they went with production-wise understands that, all of them have their own specific dynamic and what they bring to the song. And this album certainly just exemplifies that in such a way. So I also got to give a credit to, who they went to for this album, because they just did a really great job of like mixing and mastering and putting it together in a way that everything still feels really cohesive, but also at the same point there is just a diversity of, you can hear different like dynamics in terms of the guitar work, the vocals, the leads, the bass, the drums. So definitely really great. Kevin has joined the chat. What's going on, Kev? Miss you. Love you, bud. But vocally, really dynamic. The energy is there. I really love the energy of this track as well. I think the thing that really drove out to me is like the really like soaring kind of choruses. I think they do a really great job of incorporating just these really cool like anthematic like vibes and feel into this track. And I felt like that even with Nine Tails as well, there's just a really cool like embraciveness that this song brings. So definitely love that. I also really enjoyed, as I mentioned, and I probably exclaimed many times, Dentino. Chef's kiss. I love his lead work. I'm gonna say that I'm probably gonna beat that statement into the ground in this entire video, because he has such a way of crafting lead lines around like Kevin's guitar playing. And I can be like, he is just someone, as a guitar player myself, I aspire to kind of be like, just because he has some really great input in terms of like kind of like the more like runs, or just the way that it just thoughtfully crafted into the song. So really enjoyed that. And then Kevin's vocals were also super tight as well. I love just again how this song opens up as much as Kevin's vocals open up, and it's just really expansive. And I think you can really hear that more so in the bridge portion of this song, where like the rhythm kind of more like is more defined, I guess. Not to say that it wasn't prior, but like it just got this real like kind of like punk energy to it. And I felt like with the choruses, those have been more like high energy, and then the bridge kind of just like allows everything to kind of breathe and have this more open dialogue per se. So really enjoyed this one a lot. I think I have to listen to the entire album to really get my true thoughts and opinions out on it, but thus far both songs have been really great. So I always got to give them love, because I feel like they really have a great way of incorporating just like really fantastic hooks, but also at the same time not going so crazy that it's just like, what do I listen to? What am I trying to go for? I think there's just a proper balance of everything, within this album thus far. So really excited. I have listened to Anxious Racing, which is the next track number 3. I haven't listened to it in a little bit, so I'm excited to get a little bit more familiarized with it again. But we're going to listen to it right now. Carlos features on this song. Shout out to Carlos.
To feel alive, it's all I die for. This is the end of the road. I sold it all. Time to let this go. I'm at the end of my rope. I'm told that I'm so far from home, but I won't give it up. Disassemble Turn it off, I'm feeling numb. I'm fading out, I'm fading fast. Turn it on, I'm warm enough to heat things up. I can outlast. I'm ready to find out if I can be the sound that calms your past.
Oh yeah, that drum roll.
This is the end of the road. I sold it all. Time to let this go. I'm at the end of my rope. I'm told that I'm so far from home, but I won't give it up. Disassemble Do I have to feel this way? Can I make this stay? Do I have to blame
Nice. I like that. Nice little piano action. We love it. Oh, what a build.
This is the end of the road. I sold it all. Time to let this go. I'm at the end of my rope. I'm told that I'm so far from home, but I won't give it up. Disassemble
All right, guys. So if you just tuned in, this was Anxious Racing Really enjoyed this one. I enjoyed it initially when Poeta released it, but as well as that, I want to say it dropped out of it, but just kind of listened to other things and then refamiliarize myself with this track, which is really cool. Want to give a shout out to Carlos of the band Float Omen. Ironically enough, did a reaction video of their newest track, so go check that video out after this one. So it'd be great if he did that. But I love Carlos's screaming. He's a fantastic screamer. But I feel like this song is a little bit more aggressive than the previous two. Obviously, it does include screaming, so I would imagine that has to do with the sort of more angry or more like angsty sort of feeling. But it still has that like Poeta signature kind of vibe to it. I just love that. Like heavy wise, I'm glad that there was a lot more liberties that were taken in the song, so I do appreciate that. As well as that, I think the fun aspect of what Poeta does, I love that it's still incorporated in this song. It does have a great sort of like swing and vibe to it that I feel like some of the previous tracks have also had as well. But I just love that they're able to kind of continue that sort of just like vibey sort of energy where everything kind of has this nice like swing to it that again, that's what I think of when I think of Poeta. I think of that real like kind of like fun, like real riffy kind of vibe, and they just do a great justice of roping you in pretty immediately. The songs just kind of kick right off, and you're immediately immersed in it. I will say as well, I think for me it reminds me a lot, this one particularly reminds me a lot of, for whatever reason, the legendary post-hardcore band that people may or may not know. I'm not entirely sure how popular they were, but Broadway definitely reminds me a lot of that band, and I love that band so much. I talk about them all the time, and just how classic of a post-hardcore band they are. And this one has that sort of vibe to it. I know Coheed is also a big influence to Poeta as well. You can kind of hear that influence more specifically on this track as well too. But overall, really enjoyed this one too. Thus far, I don't think there's one that I've like kind of strayed away from. I'm certainly like gonna come up with like my top 3 favorite. And I would certainly, Kev, and George, if you're still in the chat, let me know what your favorites are off the album, because I imagine you definitely have at least one, I would guess. But I really enjoyed this one. Again, big shout outs to Carlos. Love that dude. And Float Omen, sick, so go check them out. But we're going to move it on to track number 4. This one is called Blossom. This one, again, features our good friend and homie of the channel, Jenna Bruno of the band The Ones You Forgot. So go give them some love, too. I also just love that they're doing a lot of, I think all of these bands, again, I might be speaking out of terms in terms of Justin, but I know for a fact, obviously Carlos is in Float Omen. They're from New Jersey. Jenna's from New Jersey as well. And then I would also say, John's also from New Jersey, and I know he's been in some, New Jersey bands. And then obviously, of course, the lovely Sierra. She's also from a band from New Jersey. So I do love that they are really just kind of, holding that down and just doing a great job between that. So kudos. Love that you guys are incorporating the New Jersey love here. Kev says in the chat here, his favorites are between Ninetales and Seraph. So, all right. So we got first and last. We did listen to Ninetales earlier. I really enjoyed that one. And very excited to listen to this new one, Blossom. I don't believe I had listened to this one prior. So very excited. Guys, we're going to listen to Blossom. Let's dig in. All right, cool. We got a nice little string section. This might be a softer one. All right. Oh, nice. Your tone, man. Oh. Oh.
Look all around you, what have you done? Will you fall until you come undone?
Oh, this is so sad.
All inside you feels right. Medicate me, please, I need to feel numb. Am I ever gonna love again? Feeling never summer's warmth instead. If I ever stood a chance against the way things should be and how they would seem. That I'm on my knees, asking God, why me? Will I turn to
Alright,
see
Jenna. Alright, Jenna. Let's go.
myself instead? While you're on your knees, asking God, why me? Will you turn to see the sun and moon? Don't you lose yourself instead?
Alright, alright.
Blossom your heart.
Oh, yeah. Alright. This bridge is tight. Alright, alright.
Am I ever gonna love again? Feeling another summer's warmth instead. I'll find out. If I ever stood a chance against the way things should be and how they would seem. Am I ever gonna love again? Feeling another summer's warmth instead. If I ever stood a chance against the way things should be and how they would seem.
Oh, that's so sick. The layers. Oh man, this is nice. Oh, this is really cool. Big shout outs to whoever did the piano on this. Man, this is cool. Alright guys, if you're just tuning in, this song is called Blossom and it features our good friend and, you know, familiar face of the channel, Jenna, of The Ones You Forgot. Listen, Kevin, you don't have... Dentino does it all. I'm a little bit, you know... Dentino, if you watch this right now or you're watching it in the past, you need to save some talent for other people because I don't know how can you be so talented? So big shout out to Dentino, man. He as a musician, he floors me so much. So big shout out to Dentino. But anyway, let's get back to the track Blossom. I think this has gotta be the front runner for me, a favorite of the album. Just upon like first listen, listen, I respect it, Kev. You are just equally as killing it, but Dentino, he might be like God tier. I don't know. He's wild. So big shout outs to Dentino again, the guitar player for Poeta. Also piano player apparently. But I love this track. I think this one, if I had to recommend, Kevin doesn't play guitar. What the fuck, man? My whole world is gonna break now. I'm real upset. He's a god, yeah. He is very much a god. So, Dentino, I'm glad I can walk on the grounds below you. But enough Dentino shilling. But I will say, for me at least, this track particularly just I think this one, if I had to recommend anybody to listen to Poeta and I had to give them a song to listen to thus far, I mean, again, we're about halfway through the album, so I'm probably going to have a change of opinion. But thus far, in this moment, I would say this one's my favorite. I really enjoy this one a lot. I think this one best represents Poeta as a whole. It's got really catchy hooks. I think the guitar work, again, is fantastic. And also, my mind was blown that Dentino does piano, which now that I'm like remembering everything, I do remember that he also played piano, because I know he did like this. I think they played in like a hotel or something, and you guys did like a piano, like a spur of the moment piano video. So I don't know why I'm surprised by that, but I'm gonna act surprised because I am still surprised. But I really feel like this is the best foot forward in terms of overall sound. It reminds me of like classic Poeta, like Golden Fields, but also at the same point, it's got such a new flavor to it. And I also love the fact that Jenna's on this track. She does a great job. I think initially I was like, okay, she's playing a little bit safe. And then once we got to like the choruses, as well as that, the just overall sound, like further on in the track, like the bridge, all that sort of stuff, where I'm like, oh my god, like they really just like went all out in terms of the like sound design, like the way that the song's structured, the layers. It just was awesome. And I think that this kind of contains all of that love and admiration for Poeta in one song particularly. So if I do have to recommend a song to listen to, Blossom, it's definitely on my list of songs to check out on this album. Probably the front runner right now. But again, as you know, and as many people know on this channel, things can change. So we will get back to that age-old question of my favorites on this album. But I really enjoyed it. I think Jenna complements Kevin's vocals super well too. And I think just the ending was just so beautiful, and the way that everything was incorporated. I love the strings, the I believe it was cello at the beginning. I really love that addition. I like that some of these songs have had just like a really great productional aspect to it that I feel like a lot of people might overlook, just because they're like, okay, well, I really love the just like high energy of things. But the way that you could start off a track and have like kind of like the cello aspect of things at the beginning, it starts off real slow, there's like clean guitars, and then trying to like ramp up to that point of being like, okay, now we got to incorporate electric guitars, we got to incorporate the vocals a little bit heavier. It just, the flow of it was just great. And I think that that's what personally makes me really love and endear this track. I think Jenna did a fantastic job on this song too. I feel like she really opened up more towards the end of the song, which was really great. And I think that last chorus just, like if there was any way to sell it more so, you guys did it. And I'm glad that you guys just pushed it to the edge, because it was certainly one of those songs that I personally will remember off this record as being one of the standout tracks. Kev said in the chat, which I'll unblock because, cursing, right? Kev said, holy shit, totally forgot about them doing the piano video. So go check it out. It's on there. I'm pretty sure it's still on their YouTube channel. But yeah, this is definitely a front runner so far. Kev's vocals were awesome. I think the drumming was also really great as well. Thus far, all of the instrumentals have just been super great. And I think this one, to me, is the standout one thus far. So we will get into the next track, which is Stella. It's a split part name, obviously, to, again, go off of the whole Stella Luna, the album. So I do like that. So we'll get into the first song of the, I don't know if lyrically they're connected at all, but we'll find out. And we'll get into Stella. Oh, that's happening. I forgot about this. Oh.
In keeping faith, did I forget to convey the words that I couldn't speak? In feeling shame, did I admit to a crime defined as speaking your mind? I'm sorry that I've declined your call to be next in line. Defined as incomparable, unwavering. Just hear me when I say I've seen enough to discriminate. Eliminate that takes its place. Just starts enough of your trust misplaced. Overcome and keep singing your songs.
All right, Zach. All right, bringing in some bass lines. Love it. All right, all right.
In the comfort of your company, it's fair
Oh, the
to
harmony.
disagree. We're all one and the same.
Love it.
If you're thinking about it honestly, how can you tell me, please, that it's okay and have faith? I'm sorry if I collide with your thoughts, opinions, decide what's right from wrong. Find the difference, so I feel indifferent. Believe me when I say I've seen enough to discriminate. Eliminate that takes its place. Just starts enough of your trust misplaced. Overcome and keep singing your songs. Wake up, can you hear the sound? Speak out a little louder now. I know you can feel it. Don't give up your pride, give up your pride. Wake up, can you hear the sound? Speak out a little louder now. I know you can feel it. Don't give up your pride, give up your pride. I've seen enough to discriminate. Eliminate that takes its place. Just starts enough of your trust misplaced. Overcome and keep singing your songs. I've seen enough to discriminate. Eliminate that takes its place. Just starts enough of your trust misplaced. Overcome and keep singing your songs.
All right, guys. If you're just tuning in, that was Stella. Again, go check out the music video. It was great. I believe Eric DiCarlo did that music video for that one, so big shouts to him. He's great. But I really enjoyed this one. I have kind of heard bits and pieces of this song, so there was some stuff that I was mouthing along to, certainly. Also, I want to go back and answer one thing that George put in the chat, live chat here. He said Kevin doesn't play guitar. That's a lie. I know Kevin plays guitar. You can't fool me. I know. I've known you guys for a long time. I know Kevin does play guitar. He might not play guitar on this album, but I know he plays guitar. So, fight me, George. But also love you. So, anyway, I getting over the beef aspect of things. That was clear, guys. It was a joke. It was a joke. It wasn't. I'm not actually gonna fight George. But I like this one. The energy of the track is just so strong. Very similarly to how much I really enjoyed Nine Tails. I think right out the gate, it's just a song that just immediately starts out just right in your face. It's just like immediate strength, and I love that. I love that Kevin's delving more into the like kind of more borderline like kind of grit or like almost borderline screaming kind of sound, which I really enjoy because I think vocally people always think like, oh, okay, well, if you're a vocalist, sometimes you got to kind of stay within that lane. And I love that he kind of pushes that edge and has a little bit more emotion to the song, or just kind of like delivery of it is just feels a little bit more genuine. So I absolutely love that. I will say, in terms of the production aspect of things, I love the fact that there is just a lot of vocal layering going on in this track. More specifically, some of the like high notes that Kevin hits were just like, I was kind of thrown back by how like strong they were, and how pronounced they were still within the mix. I think that was really tight. And God, I don't know how Kevin hits those notes. So that's kudos to you. Kudos to Kev. Kudos to Kev. But really enjoyed this one a ton. I think I've already really enjoyed this one anyway, but this one to me is like, again, another classic like Poeta track that I feel like a lot of people would really enjoy, especially if you haven't heard of the band. I would probably recommend this one as well, just because it has that sort of Poeta feel that, like, if I go back and listen to Golden Fields, I feel like this song particularly would fit within that parameter of what I know, and also kind of extending the boundaries a little bit. I think that you guys collectively just thought of ways to kind of keep the songs, very attuned to what I think people are familiar with in terms of your sound, but also at the same time, I think there's just a lot of branching out and a lot of expansiveness that I felt like Golden Fields maybe kind of lacked a little bit. So really excited about this one. This one was a tight track. Again, go check out the music video. It was great. Very cool. I did see clips of it. I didn't see the whole thing, but now I know. Now I kind of putting the pieces together. So we're going to move it on to track number 6. This one features our good friend Sierra of What Sails Ahead. So I have high hopes for this song. Certainly the features on this album have been immense. So very excited. So we're going to get into Luna, and this one features Sierra. Interesting intro. All right. Kind of has like a transit-y sort of vibe, which I love. Shouts to Transit. All right, Kev. Oh, that vocal break was, oh my god. Weren't messing around. I like that.
From this place comes a comfortable delusion of better days where one could ignore confusion, but in this way we've become just an illusion in our rise, in our lives. Washed away are the colors
I'm guessing.
As I look back on all of my life, this disaster is dizzying right. When does the spinning subside? When does
Nice.
nightmares start to make sense? If there is gold, would you tell me where it is? Bury me if it's the last thing you did.
Ooh, the riffs. Oh,
Tell me
ooh, this last bridge part. All right, guys, if you just tuned in, that was Luna, and that was track number 6 off of Poeta's newest album, Stella Luna. Check the links below. Go give it some love. Go give him a follow, because I told you to. Please do it. Anyway, I really enjoyed this one. I was a little bit curious on, what sound-wise they were going to go with on this song. And I love that this one's a little bit heavier. It's kind of, I would say, in the same kind of lane as Anxious Racing. And I'd be very curious to know if they were written around the same time or kind of with the same sort of mindset, because you can hear a lot of similarities between that. Also, the riffs on this song were just like chuggy, and I also love the fact that just like it was very much riff central, and I'm all about it because your boy got a ticket to Riff City and did not disappoint. Dentino is on fire right now. So really enjoyed that. I think vocally this one was probably my favorite performance thus far with Kev. I think what he's doing currently on this track, I think he really pushed his voice, like even to the point where some of the like even the falsetto-y sort of stuff just felt like there was just so much energy and like heart and effort put into this song. You can kind of hear like almost parts where I would almost imagine like a voice break almost kind of. I'm not a vocalist, so I really can't place that, and even if I was a vocalist, I probably wouldn't know what the fuck to call it. But I love just like the way that his vocals just dance throughout this entire song. I think this is definitely, I would say, Kev's best performance thus far. But in my personal opinion, I just think he did a lot of different things that I feel like with all of the other songs thus far, I really feel like he pushed his vocals to the absolute max on this track. So really enjoyed that. Sierra's feature was very cool as well. I would have loved to hear like some more like harmonies. I think very similarly to how much I enjoyed like Jenna's feature as well. I think some like more like interweaving I think would have been really nice. But that last like I don't know if it would be considered a chorus or maybe like an outro or something like that. That was super sick. So I really enjoyed that. I love the more aggressive tonality of that song. I think that was really cool. I think it played off of all the things that I really enjoyed about Anxious Racing, except for the fact that maybe there wasn't any screaming, which was totally fine because it felt just as like thick and heavy. Which, again, you know me. I love that sort of stuff. I love the like heavier aspect of what most bands do, and I feel like this one plays really into the things that I enjoy already, but also the fact that just vocally it was just a really solid performance. And I think just like everybody else, Zach, as well as George and Dentino, just did a fantastic job of like really backing up, I think, just vocally a more intense song than I would argue like instrumentally or whatever. Like, because you can think of Stella's very like very like guitar driven, as well as I would say drum driven track, where like, you know, I feel like George is really kind of fronting most of the like energy and most of the kind of like pull in the song. Like when I'm listening to Stella, I'm like, okay, he's really trying to like, you know, drive the ship here, and that's totally cool. And I feel like with Luna is really nice to hear, you know, I would argue Kev driving the ship on this one, and that was really neat. So I think this one is in my favorites. I mean, in terms of sound, like, would I recommend this to a new Poeta listener? You know, if they're into more heavier stuff, I would probably recommend this one. But I feel like Anxious Racing might be a little bit closer to that sort of demographic. But I think if you kind of are, you know, in the camp of like liking heavy music, but also kind of getting more into different genres, more like indie sort of stuff, then this might kind of be on that sort of fringe that I think people would enjoy. But overall, I love the heaviness of it. Sierra did a great job of adding her vocals on there. Again, I was maybe expecting just a little bit more, but that's just a personal opinion, and obviously that's why I'm doing this. So, but I really enjoyed this one a ton. So we're gonna move into Penumbra. I'm pretty sure if I pronunciated that right. If not, I completely butchered it, and I'm just gonna own it. So this is track number 7, Penumbra. Let's go give it a listen. Guitar. Nice effect. Oh, you know what this has? This has a very much In Search of the City vibe. Who knows? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is, you got Search the City written all over it. Oh, this is, oh, kudos guys, kudos. Oh. God, riffs, baby. Certified bop. Guys, if you tuned in to this fantastic track, this is track number 7. This one's called Penumbra. I did pronunciate it right. Thanks, George. God, this one, man, this has so much nostalgia feel to it. I love it. If you haven't checked out Search the City, definitely a band to go check out. Love that band a ton. I think George and I basically bonded over that band, so I feel like that's a big compliment to George more or less than anybody else in the band. But I love this track. This one is such a cool vibe. I think at the beginning, I love the real like reverb driven guitar. It sounds like it's fucking like way out there, and that's so cool. And then on top of that, just the riff, super tight. I love Kevin's vocals in this track, especially more towards the end of the song. I love that there's just these like really like kind of opposing vocal lines that just make the song really unique and interesting. I would argue this one's kind of more of the black sheep because it's got just definitely more of a like bob your head kind of vibe, but then at the same point it just got such a great like, oh, it's got such a great depth to it too. So really enjoyed this one. Probably one of my favorites. I would definitely put this in my top favorite songs off the album. This one is an absolute certified bop. I'm calling it here. Put my seal of approval. This one, arguably one of my favorites off the record thus far. But this one must have been a fun. This one must be fun to play live, I would argue, just because there's just got so much energy to it. Oh, so good. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. This one's the one. So, don't have to say much else because I think it's just on point. Literally on point. So, let's go give track number 8, Archangel, a listen.
Stay with me. You're running off like you never could be saved. Breathe.
That intro was cool.
In and out now. You're trying to break free, but I've tried everything from love to hate and everything between. Show me how to live. I'm reaching out now. I'm reaching out. I can't believe in the time spent down here. I'm alive. What's it like to have never felt so cold? What's it like to have never felt? Give me something, show me substance. Keep me from this mundane constant. Show me life and let this love in. Keep me alive, I'll be just fine now. Speak in faith, find yourself in the manic disarray.
This is a fun one.
Walk away from everything that's keeping you at bay. So what am I gonna do when love has gone and the time has passed me by? I'll just fall in line like all the rest. Feels like second best. I can't believe
These riffs, man. Oh, Dentino. Cannot talk enough about Dentino.
what's it like to have never felt so cold? What's it like to have never felt? Give me something, show me substance. Keep me from this mundane constant. Show me life and let this love in. Keep me alive, I'll be just fine now. I can't believe
All right, nice change up.
spent down here. I'm alive.
Woo! God, riff. That bridge. Oh, so good. Oh.
What's it like to have never felt? Give me something, show me substance. Keep me from this mundane constant. Show me life and let this love in. Keep me alive, I'll be just fine
All right, guys. This was track number 8. It was Archangel. Really enjoyed this one. I don't feel like I really gave this one a ton of love. I know it was one of the singles, and I feel like I want to say glazed over it, but I just feel like I didn't give it enough love, you know. And this one is super fun. The energy is on point. I love just the massive riffs, man. I'm gonna say it again. Dentino on fire. Love this dude. He is just coming up. He is a riff machine. I am just gonna say that. I really enjoyed this. I also think I like came to this like epiphany while listening to that song. I feel like Kevin does that thing that both I believe Dan and Alan of 4 Year Strong do, which is kind of like that almost like yell, like singing kind of thing where they put a lot of grit behind their voice. So I feel like that is kind of what the vibe is for that, you know, for just when he goes into more of that like aggressive tonality. And I love that. I think that's super sick. And I like that he incorporates it a lot. Not only in this track, but I think like a lot of the songs off this album, he really incorporates it really well. So I gotta give him a lot of props for that. Also, George, if you're still here in the chat, I asked Kevin what his favorite songs were, and I don't think you told me, so you should tell me in the chat. But I really enjoyed this one. I think for me, it's like I love just like the bouncy energy of it. The tempo feels a little bit slower, but like also at the same point, it has such a great energy to it, and like the riffs just work out super well. The choruses are massive. Again, I think that's really their strong suit on this entire album, is just like the choruses sound super massive, and I love the fact that they just incorporate a lot of like group singing. I would say more so with just Kevin, but it just kind of has this more expansive sound, and I love the fact that that's something that they really try to just keep as something that like signifies them. I think they just really you know, just really worked them super well. So I like the fact that this one just has a straight up like kind of rock edge to it, but then at the same point just has some fantastic riffs to back it up. And I love the fact that there's just a lot of space to the song, but there's also so much going on in like the backgrounds of the song. Like you can hear the kind of like da 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 da, and then like the drumming kind of like the drumming peaks out, and then you hear like some of the bass lines that Zach does, and I think he just incorporates everything super well, where it doesn't feel like there's so much going on, but there's also just a lot of space where the songs can kind of grow and expand. So really like that. George did say that his favorites are Stella and Blossom, so that would make sense. Checks out. We're checking out here. So not surprised. Middle of the record. I feel like, you know, especially with Stella, I feel like that song is just a push, you know, and you can definitely hear a lot of the George influence on that song. So really enjoy that. But we're gonna move into the last song. I know we're at the end of the line. It's kind of crazy, but this one is called Seraph, and this one features John Dalton. I know he's been in a lot of bands, and I can't remember him off the top of my head right now, but John, I know, is a fantastic guitar player, and I know he absolutely shreds. So we're going to get into this last track, and I hope that this song melts my face off. So let's get into it. All right. Dentino piano. All right. Is this going to be a slow one? It is. I think it is a little bit, if my memory serves me correct. I love that little like sparkle delay on the end. Oh, on the guitar. Oh, so good. Clean.
Goodbye, she said. Our time is done instead. I will find myself in ways you
I like this.
couldn't give.
Just like guitar
Maybe
vocals.
this just wasn't meant to last as long as we should live. If it's all that I could give, my life to you, what am I supposed to do?
Ooh, Zach's taking like more in the forefront of the song. I like that.
Guides me through my mind, finding reasons left to fight for all the colors in my life. You shine the brightest, hold on tight. We're on our way to see what life's about, its meaning. Don't give it away, don't run away from all the colors that invade our lives. What if I told you we could breathe again? Just give that time. I feel the air, filling my lungs. This love will save our lives. I can't decide what's wrong, what's right. Feeling numb to what just might become.
The dynamics of the song's super sick too.
I've lost the fight. The light that gives me hope in time. You'll find a reason left to shine.
All right, riffs.
We're on our way to see what life's about, its meaning. Don't give it away, don't run away from all the colors that invade our lives. What if I told you we could breathe again? Just give that time. I feel the air, filling my lungs. This love will save our lives.
Ooh, all right, John.
It's time to find your own serenity. Breathe in the air, you'll find there's a different way to live your life away from disparity. It's time to find your own serenity. Breathe in the air, you'll find there's a different way to live your life away from disparity. Give it a chance, you'll see it will set you free. My life to you. What am I supposed to do? Shine the light that guides me through my night, my mind, finding reasons left to fight for all the colors in my life. Shine the brightest, hold on tight. It's time to find your own serenity. Breathe in the air, you'll find there's a different way to live your life away from disparity. It's time to find your own serenity. Breathe in the air, you'll find there's a different way to live your life away from disparity. Give it a chance, you'll see it will set you free.
Oh, and then how we started it. Love it. I can see why Kev likes this song. It's good. Well, guys, if you tuned in, that was the last song off of Poeta's newest album, Stella Luna. Check the links below to go stream it. If you can pick it up, definitely do that. And I think they have some merch, so go pick that up as well. I believe it's on their website, so go give that some love. But to kind of round out this review, I really like this a lot. I like John kind of comes at the middle of the song. I was a little bit, I want to say, hesitant on enjoying this song, but I will say for being a 6-minute song, I was a little bit like, okay, are they going to be able to keep my attention for a whole 6 minutes? But as you saw, I was really kind of in tuned for the for the entirety of the song, which is usually pretty difficult. I would say I would say that I'm usually a little bit more open with longer songs, but I know that that can be kind of a deal breaker for some people. But I love the way that this song ends. Dentino starting out with piano, then it kind of goes to just like normal, just like a nice like soft electric guitar, and just Kevin's vocals, and I think that's really tight. And then as the song kind of progresses, it just kind of like grows, and the song continues to grow and grow and grow until you get to the chorus, and then everything kind of opens up and it just becomes a little bit more expansive. So I do appreciate that, and I think vocally too, I just like Kev's vocals on this one. I think he was just I can imagine not only kind of lyrically but also vocally, I feel like he opened up a lot more in the song, very similarly to how I felt like Luna, he did a lot of that as well. But this one really kind of surprised me. I think I was just kind of like, okay, how are they gonna like be able to work with that and kind of make it seem very interesting to people who may not know the band too well. And I know they have a music video out for it, which good friend of the channel, Chris Kunchak, love that dude. He does a lot of the insane music videos, and he did a really great one for this one. And then John's contribution as well was just really well done. I loved his solo. I think that was really, really tight and really fit with how the rest of the song sounded, and I feel like he didn't go above what I would think might be a little bit untasteful. I think he just really incorporates well in the song, and it's just this really interesting way of kind of incorporating more of a solo-esque part to make the song a little bit more interesting. But overall, really enjoyed this one a ton. I would say probably right now, if I was to stop the recording and pick my top favorite songs, I would say I would probably say Penumbra is probably my favorite one. I'd probably follow that up with Blossom was really cool, and I'd say I really enjoyed Nine Tails a lot. So I would probably say those three are my favorite, and then I'd say honorable mention is a tie would be Stella and Luna. I feel like those two just really work well together, and I think that they are just shy of what I really enjoy about Poeta. I love all of the songs equally, but I feel like those were the ones, at least to me, that when I look at the name and I can kind of hear a little bit of how they sound in my head, those were the ones that were kind of like more stand out to me. But would love to know what you guys, what your guys' favorite tracks are. Drop them in the comments. Let me know. But overall, really enjoyed this record. I think personally, I would probably have to give it a little bit more listens to kind of place it where I feel like where it would be at. But overall, I think it's just a complete step up from Golden Fields. I think in terms of production value, certainly. And I also think over the years, there has been so many changes, and I think as well as influences, I would imagine as well. And you can just hear a lot more I feel like there's just a lot more heart in this album, and that's not to discount Golden Fields, because I still consider that to be one of the coolest records I've heard in a hot minute, and that's mainly because I love Poeta. But I think this one just has more of an expansive nature to it. I think they took a lot more chances. I think lyrically there's a lot of depth to be had in this album, but I think musically too there's just a lot more going on there. I think there everybody clicks on just a different level, and you can definitely hear that in the way that the songs are constructed, the way that they're written, and how they're put together on this album, because I think the way it plays out is super well, and I like the way that it's structured, and it doesn't feel like it's too short, but it also doesn't feel like it's too long and it overstates its welcome. It just kind of hits that nice stride point, and I think with an album, especially now, it's really hard to keep people's attention. I feel like this album caught my attention from start to finish. It was something that I feel like if you're really in tune with music and you are a musician yourself and you know you're familiar with Poeta, then you're gonna like this record a lot. And I think if anything, you probably might get more out of it. But if you're a new fan and you haven't checked Poeta out before, and this is their first, you know, introduction to Poeta, then this is this is a great starting point. And then you can always go back and listen to Golden Field, which, you know, I know, speaking with George, he has said that they have gone back and they have, you know, there's plenty of people that have checked out Golden Fields after listening to this album, even though it just came out today, or just listening to some of the singles and then finding out about the band. I think it's just a really great way to, you know, unlock some of those albums that like you might have missed out on and maybe not been aware of. And I hope that people really take the chance to listen to Golden Fields and listen to Stella Luna, because I think they both have different things to offer, but also at the same time are very cohesive in the way that Poeta has put albums out. So really enjoy it. Did this album have a song like Chroma? No. I feel like I'm gonna get shit for saying whatever I said. I'm gonna have to find out what I said about Chroma, but I think it was just because my memory serves me correct, because it was a little ways ago. I think it was because I didn't like Chroma and I took a shit on it, and so now George is gonna roast me forever. The products of being a YouTube internet, you know, personality. So, but anyway, let me know what your favorites are down below. I would love to hear what you think, and please go check out Poeta. They're big homies of the channel, and if anything, I hope that you get a lot out of this. I hope you're able to enjoy this record, and I hope you're gonna be able to go check them out, because honestly, I've been saying it for a long time. I've always loved what these guys have done, and I think even if I wasn't friends with them, I think it would just be I think it would just be something that I'm always going to get behind. They always have shown so much love to me, and I want to be able to show that same love. So please go show Stella Luna the love it deserves, because it is a fantastic record from front to back. I don't feel like I should give it like a numerical rating, but I would definitely give it 2 thumbs up. Definitely one you should go check out. Links below. Go give it a listen. Huge thanks to Kevin as well as George for hanging out in the chat. If you are watching this in the past, that live chat will still be up there, so please go do it. They keep saying that they hate Chroma, so I guess my opinion is validated. So cool, glad internet personality Brandon's still in the game here. But seriously, go check them out. Awesome people that make even better music, so please go give them some love. And honestly, if you enjoy my content, please make sure to like, share, subscribe. If you happen to stumble upon Poeta and you need a good excuse to watch this video and share with someone else that may like the same music, please do it, because I think for me, I've always tried to build a community doing this, and I hope that plenty of people find out about Poeta, and that would just make my day if other people found out about Poeta and were like, this band's sick. I don't know why I never listened to them, or I had never listened to them, and I'm glad you showed me them. So please go give them some love, and again, enjoy the content, share, like, subscribe. It goes a long way. Again, huge thanks to Kev for hanging out in the chat, and George for hanging out in the chat. Love you both. Hopefully we'll be hanging out soon, but please go give Stella Luna a listen. Congrats on the release. We'll be doing another one tomorrow, another live video. I'm probably going to wind up doing the new Eat Your Heart Out record, Chef's Kiss. Very excited. Probably do it similarly to this. So Keep your eyes peeled on the social media for that. But done a ton of videos. Keeping on doing the stuff. And the last thing that I have to plug certainly is merch. New merch is in the store. I don't always like to shill about merch, but honestly, I'm very excited for all of the stuff in the merch store right now. So please, if you can, go pick something up. If not, it's totally fine too. I'll survive. So thank you for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Peace.